tandem flip?
I have not.
It's a tough thing to do. Like, oh, is there the baby? Yeah. I licked his finger. Well, his base is.
Maybe. Reset. 7 o'clock, I'll call the Savage City Council meeting to order. Roll call. Here.
Council members Bergstrom,
Here.
Coughlin,
Here.
Crakes,
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll move on to public comments. The mayor and the city council believe public comments are a necessary component to elected governance. With this principle in mind, we welcome individuals to come to the podium to inform us of an issue or provide feedback or concerns about matters in Savage. Please come to the podium, provide your name and address, and we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody who wants to say anything during public comment? Mr. Coons, and you don't need to say.
I didn't want to waive my Fourth Amendment rights tonight, but this has been quite a road here. Ever since having my rights violated back in November just for voting. This has been, there's a stack of paperwork that I have back here that I've been going through. It's ridiculous. Your city clerk violated my rights. Then we come to find out, after taking this to court, that your police officers have immunity. Well, essentially, that lawsuit now that was against the city is now going to become a greater lawsuit. And it's going to become more of a civil matter in a higher court now. And now after doing a records request, I find that you guys violated, with one of your employees, my privacy rights with my private emails on your email servers. Because this individual, we got a slap on the hand. If that would happen in the private sector, they would have been fired. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to sue the city for this and the swatting that happened. Outrageous. I haven't even talked about that yet. 5 squads when I'm trying to process serve an individual. Ridiculous. This is retaliation. And obviously, Brad doesn't want to resolve this, or your state attorney doesn't want to resolve this, so I guess I have no choice but to litigate. And not one of you representatives have even reached out to me during this whole process. I find that abhorrent. You're supposed to represent me and my rights, just like you have your rights. Sorry, I'm thoroughly disgusted about the last, 10 months of my life now. I've been having to deal with this. And you're going to try and blame it on me because of my free speech, my freedom to express myself, and then have all this stuff happen afterward as retaliatory steps from the city and the police department? What's next? You had 5 officers come with guns on their hands while I was trying to process serve on a personal matter. And now those personal emails are on your servers. And then you just slap the hand of the employee that did this, not fired them? Ridiculous. You guys need to do better, and we'll have to resolve this in court, I guess, because Brad and your state attorney doesn't want to do anything else otherwise. So, this is ridiculous.
Is there anyone else in the audience who wants to make a public comment? All right, we will move on to additions, modifications, and approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or modifications?
None from staff. Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Coughlin, seconded by Crakes. Oh, don't need a roll call vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no proclamations tonight, nor are there any presentations. The minutes, approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting from June 16th, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, seconded by Bergstrom. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no public hearings this evening. We move on to the consent agenda. These are routine items of business that are collectively presented for approval through a single motion. A council member may request that an item be pulled from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. Under Personnel, adopt a resolution authorizing personnel actions for the City of Savage. Under Engineering and Utilities, adopt a resolution approving the 2025-2026 mining permits for Prior Lake Aggregates. 2, adopt a resolution receiving bids and awarding contract to Shank Contractors for $2,197,900 and a not-to-exceed amount of $2,607,000. I'll try that again, $2,607,690 for the Water Treatment Plant 3 Filter Media Rehabilitation Project, City Project 2505. And 3, adopt a resolution authorizing a 2026 capital budget request to the state of Minnesota for the Highway 13 Reconstruction Project, City Project 23-26. Under Planning, adopt an ordinance and resolution approving a PUD amendment for PCD 8 and a site plan for a building addition for Quick Trip located at 14175 Vernon Avenue South, and adopt a resolution approving the summary of ordinance and ordering the publication of said summary, City Project 25-21. Adopt a resolution for a PUD amendment allowing a 6-unit addition for the Rivers of Life Memory Care Facility located at 2700 Egan Drive, and adopt a resolution approving the summary of ordinance and ordering the publication of said summary, City Project 25-20. 3, adopt a resolution approving a purchase agreement for a land sale to Bond Dakota, LLC, in the amount of $70,000 and earnest money of $5,000. Under Police and Fire, adopt a resolution approving 1 forfeited vehicle to be declared surplus equipment and be disposed of in a manner that complies with state law. Under Finance, adopt a resolution to approve claims listing. And under General, adopt a resolution approving a short-term rental license for Charles Shipakasi, located at 7621 West 136th Street, for the period of July 7, 2025 through March 31st, 2026. Is there anything that anybody on the council wants to pull for discussion and/or action? Stacy.
Not necessarily something to pull, sorry, but I did have a clarifying question. Can I ask that? About 8B3. So the resolution authorizing the 2026 capital budget request, is this just a follow-up to a request that was already made on by June 13th?
Mayor, Members of Council, that is correct.
Okay.
The application was due June 13th, but we have to submit resolutions or resolution support as part of the application, so we could do that after the fact. And because of the short time frame, we're requesting council for that resolution tonight. So.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Anything from the audience? With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion by Bergstrom, seconded by Coughlin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under general business, consider adopting a resolution approving a change order not to exceed $150,000 for Fire Station Number 1 Building Repair Project, City Project 24-26. Chief Bresnahan.
Good evening, Mayor Kelly and council members. This evening, we're going to give you a presentation, giving an update on the construction where we're at with Fire Station 1, and then requesting a change order to the project, adding in the kitchen, day room, and the exercise room not to exceed $150,000. So to provide you just a little bit of timeline, that building was built in about 1991. It was designed to support a paid-on-call system. Then in 2021, started city council shift in the staffing model for the fire department. Through that 21 to 24, using that building, we started to find out the deficiencies of that facility, how it is used, and then the HVAC system. In 2024, we then started approaching the project. The original project was to have the kitchen, day room, fitness area redone, also with the complete HVAC replacement. Through that code review, we found out that it did not meet Minnesota State Fire Code, which required a fire suppression system. At that point in time, we removed the kitchen, day room, and fitness from the project to achieve that cost. And then the intent of putting that in the 2026 budget cycle to see if it'd be approved. Additionally, with this, you're right now having, with the additional staffing, 4 shift members in that facility for administration, and then not to even count the 4 that are additional in shift change. So you have 8 to 12 staff utilizing that facility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, the original project scope did include the kitchen, day room, and the fitness area. Unfortunately, to the unanticipated structural repairs, that was excluded. And then with the intent of reapproaching for the 2026 budget. So in preparation for the 2026 budget, what we asked was Terra Construction to provide bids for 2 different situations. One, what would be the additional cost to add it into the scope of work right now, being that, and we'll show you some pictures here in the couple slides, of how open that building is. The building ceilings, everything is removed from the ceilings, it's open. So what would be the cost to add in the kitchen, day room, and fitness now versus if we complete that project, 2026, we now sit there and ask for the budget request. We found there's a $150,000 difference in that project cost. That's why we thought it was imperative to bring it in front of council to highlight some cost-saving aspects possibly.
Chief, can I just stop you for a minute?
Yes.
That difference of $150,000 is not related to a time value of money costs. Those are additional costs of the project because you're re-getting into areas that are currently open.
Correct.
Okay.
So the 2026 would be, the current project is complete, everything is sealed up. 2026, we'd reopen everything we just did. And now we have to reassimilate the contractors. This is where the cost savings coming in. As you can see in the bullet points, we're leveraging the crews that are already there. It was part of the original scope of this project to begin with. That's why it's a change order. Also, the benefits to this that we don't have highlighted, right now we have our entire fire department staff relocated to Fire Station 2, that the facilities do not support 24-hour living. I don't know if I would be an advocate of doing that again in the future. They've been very positive and resilient. I'm very proud of the group just going with this here. So existing layout. So as you can see with the existing layout, it is really designed for a paid on-call system. Just for size-wise, that kitchen area to be shared with that many people, working space is about 80 square feet. It really doesn't have like a 24-hour living thought in the design of this building. Here's, Administrator Larson asked me to add some little bit of images. I'll send the updated presentation to Robbie tomorrow. But here's our challenges that we're seeing right now. Right now, it's an aging infrastructure of that facility being used for a design that it wasn't meant for. Overcrowding and overuse. The building was never intended to be used by 8 to 12 people at any given time. And we're probably using this building beyond its capabilities at this point in time. Hence being why we get down to the electrical and the kitchen deficiencies. We're popping circuit breakers. We have refrigerators in different locations of different rooms to facilitate the support of 24-hour living. And I just want to add, yes, it's a 24-hour shift, but our firefighters can be mandatory overtimed up to 72 hours. So that is why the refrigerators are needed in the supported living. Again, that working space within the kitchen is 80 square feet. Kitchen and cabinets, if you're to open up our cabinets right now, we actually have 2x4s screwed through the back of the cabinet into the studs of the wall to keep them on the wall. If you had other images, you'd see how they're just sitting up there crooked at this point in time. And then also misuse of space. So we do have some fitness equipment, but we actually have it in the day room. Day rooms have a different intent for an exercise room. So we're misusing that room. We're trying to use it for two polar opposite things. If the $150,000 change or request was approved, this is what the layout would now be turned into. Fully utilizing the space that is there to increase and optimize operations, facilitate living 24 hours a day, and the staff that are in that building now. And we would say it would round out the complete project of Fire Station 1 that we could foresee at this point. So today, currently, we're running about 2 weeks behind due to, as we all have seen, supply lags, some new design updates. We are about 2 weeks behind. What we'd be looking at if this was approved, probably sometime mid-September for project completion and CO to be provided by the city. So in closing, staff is requesting approval for the change order not to exceed $150,000 for City Project 2426. I will take any questions if you have any.
Any questions from council?
A comment and a question. I just want to give you and your staff and everyone kudos and just admire that you're currently dealing with that. I had the opportunity to bring my daughter Genevieve for her birthday to that fire station, and they were amazing, but I will attest to the cupboards and the refrigerators in different places, and I think I believe firmly we need to take care of our firefighter men and women, and I just want to give everybody kudos that has been so good about it. I don't know if I could do that even in an 80 square foot kitchen, and I don't cook, so that I kudos to everyone who does. And then my question is for the increase in 2026, I'm assuming that the $150,000 cost is due to labor, parts, construction materials that are going up everywhere. Do you foresee that would go up at all? Or like in 2026 more than the 150,000, or because I think doing it now and saving that money is a great idea.
First of all, thank you for the kind words. I'll make sure to share it with the team.
Yes.
The $150,000 increase, adding it to this project in a change order, is the increase of cabinetry, carpeting, the finished stuff.
Okay.
You're taking the $150,000 in 2026 if we were to wait, and then you're adding another $150,000 plus 5 to 7% of inflation.
Okay, no,
Because now you're reworking something that you've already opened up today.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So the later, Mayor, council members, the later we wait,
Yeah.
we're anticipating
That's-
5 to 7% inflation. I really did not, Jeremy can attest to this, we did not want to bring this to you, but with everything opened up and the fact that our kitchen space really is antiquated, and I would characterize it kind of as a small apartment kitchen. And with all of our staff there eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the fiscally responsible thing would be to bring it back to you because we think that there would be pretty significant cost savings if we did it now.
Any other further questions, comments?
More in terms of the extra funds, how would those be paid for?
Yeah, good question. So I cannot remember the breakdown, but we're paying a portion of this with the public safety aid dollars, and then another portion will be through an interfund loan from the water sewer fund. We'd have to take an additional $150,000 from the water sewer fund. It can support it. And then we pay it back over 15 or 20 years. I'll let Matt talk to this in a second at a percentage rate. We think this $150,000 in addition would add $12,000. Was it $12,000? More than what we're going to have to pay ourselves back with the original loan. Matt, do you want to put details to that?
Administrator Larson's right. We're expecting to use $500,000 of remaining public safety aid. towards this project, and then the remaining portion was going to be funded with an interfund loan through the Water Sewer Fund. Like Brad mentioned, we're anticipating this to be a 15 or 20-year repayment schedule. Once the project is complete, I'll bring that forward to you guys, and we can kind of go through what we want to negotiate our own terms to be. I would suggest we tie the interest rate to what these bonds are going to sell that we'll be selling in 2 weeks here. So we're looking at about a 5% interest rate to play it safe, 4 or 5% interest. So with that 15, 20-year repayment schedule, we're looking at about $55,000 for the existing project. If we were to add this $150,000, we'd be bumping that up to $67,000 in total. So $12,000, once we add it to the levy, it's in there. We don't have to continue adding $67,000 year over year compounding. Add it once and it will float for the repayment term.
Any other, Stacy?
Can I maybe just mix questions on projects, since we have the other water treatment plant project that's pretty big? And I know you said that the funds can cover it, but can you maybe just speak to like what that fund looks like and how can we manage both of those right now?
That fund has cash reserves north of $13 million. The intent with that was that we are building up that cash reserve in that fund, so when we do have the treatment plant 3 rehabilitation project in, I believe it's 27, we are intending on spending down that cash balance substantially, and then we'll utilize about 50% through bonds, just to manage the debt service payments on it. So there is more than enough to be able to cover this, and we're going to actually be completing a utility rate study here in the coming months to help guide what our 26 through 28 water rates need to be and make sure that we are meeting those cash targets.
Okay.
So I don't have any concerns with this.
All right, thank you.
Did you also have a question?
Just the financial shell game. When we borrow from ourselves, we're paying interest back to ourselves. This is kind of an internal thing just to keep the books kosher?
Yep, keep the books kosher, and realistically, if that money were sitting in the fund, we would put it into the investment pool. So this is taking that, call it $750,000 once this is all complete. That $750,000 is no longer going to be able to go into the market to be invested, so rather we're going to pay the interest ourselves.
Okay.
And I just want to highlight again some of the things that you had said was the Water Sewer Fund does have money to do this. However, it is not overfunded.
Correct.
And we have been doing these rate studies every 2 to 3 years. But one of the things that we've been doing is we've been saving up those funds so we can do this huge rehabilitation project. And you said in 2027?
2027 is when that project is currently scheduled. And by doing so, by paying cash for it, we're going to substantially save on the interest that we would be paying if we were to take out bonds for the full project.
So while we are borrowing from ourselves, I do want to make sure that we are looking at that fund and we're doing the rate study again, but that we're not overcharging for our water, but that we're anticipating those costs. So,
Correct.
all right. Any other questions, concerns? I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution approving a change order not to exceed $150,000 for the city project number 24-26, Fire Station number 1, building repair project.
Second.
Motion by Craigs, seconded by Coughlin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City council reports. Did anybody have any meetings? The end of June and 4th of July and...
Patch days.
Well, I was going to say, so I am going to bring up Dan Patch Days. I know we had a couple at the parade.
Got it.
Was
Yeah.
anybody
Ran out of
able
candy.
to either Thursday night or Friday night? You were there on,
I was there Thursday night and Friday night and Saturday during the day.
during the day.
In Pancake, so yeah, the whole thing.
I was there Thursday at the Rotary
I was thinking you were probably
wine,
there at the,
spirit, and beer event, so
yeah.
it was well attended.
The first time riding in the parade was amazing. And the new water boat is amazing. And next time I will bring my own candy, not steal from the float
get
in
the
front of
memo.
us. But it was really fun, and I think we had the largest crowds, I think, probably ever that we've had. So I didn't know any better, and we were out of candy like almost halfway
Around the
through, and
corner.
I was like, sorry, no candy. And all the parents are like, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, I know. And the kids are like, whatever, keep moving. But it was amazing. It was really fun to be a part of it.
I missed the parade. I was at my college class reunion, so I missed the parade. But I did hear that it was a great turnout for the parade.
They kept going. I was like, wait, I thought we were done.
I did manage to get there Saturday night to thank all of the volunteers for coming and put a plug in for everybody to volunteer next year, because without our volunteers, that event can't happen. Most of the work is done by the volunteers. We do have, and I want to give staff kudos, because we've had, not only our police and fire were out there and were very visible, so thank you, and make sure you thank your folks. But our public works staff and park staff, making sure that that park was prepared and ready to go, and then our public works fund folks and doing all of the maneuvering and all of the stuff behind the scenes and setup and stuff that they did. So a huge thank you to city staff. But a reminder to folks that the event is put on by volunteers, and it's not a city-funded event, and it only happens because people show up Thursday night, well, I think Thursday goes to Rotary, but Friday night for the paid band event, and then Saturday events are all free because of that. And the city has contributed a tiny little bit of money to that now the last couple of years, but yeah, just a huge thank you to the folks who were there. I did get a chance to thank folks Saturday night, and then visit with people at the pancake breakfast. And I had a lot of people ask me at the pancake breakfast why there was not a booth there to put their donations in. They were very upset that they wanted that money to go to the fire station and to go to our fire personnel. And I just did a quick, and Administrator Larson and Chief Bresnahan, you can correct me, but did a little education that the pancake breakfast always used to be put on by the Relief Association. And the Relief Association is there to manage the pension fund for our paid-on-call, or if you think old language, which is not accurate, volunteer firefighters. That was what, they have a pension fund, and the Fire Relief Association manages that pension fund. As a part of that, they would put on the pancake breakfast, and they would use those funds for educational purposes, to do other things that the Relief Association did, and that's who funded the pancake breakfast and then ultimately got those donation funds. When we made the decision to go to full-time fire, and now when we made the decision to dissolve the Relief Association, it did not look appropriate for us to take donations for an organization that we have said we're dissolving and have them get donations for the pancake breakfast. So I will say kudos to the folks in the room who made sure that the city could fund the bucks for the pancake breakfast. And walking around, I have never seen the line Sunday morning go out as far as it did. So I did try and tell everybody who was there, thanking them for that, but you want to talk about, they opened up their home, right? Because that's where they're living now. They literally opened up their house and let 2,500 people, Chief, something like?
2,000. We served 500 more than we did last year.
Okay, so what you at home aren't hearing is we served 500 more people than last year, served 2,000 people. The line went around, out the building, around the fire trucks, and it was fabulous. But they had all of those grills going, and the line didn't take long to get through, but it was just really a great event, and the staff who were there, especially our fire department, just really stepped up in spades. And I just had so many people thanking me for doing that and having that event. So there we go. All right. Sorry, I fell asleep up here. So with that said, we'll go to written communication, general information, and follow-up, and I believe we're turning it over to you, Matt. or?
Yes, so at the end of your packet tonight, you have the first quarter 2025 financial report. So this is just a brief, quick update on where we're at with cash balances, where we're at as of March 31st within the general fund comparing to budget, and then what our investment portfolio is looking at. So really informational purposes only. Again, we'll continue to do this quarterly. Fourth quarter, you won't see anything just because we have our annual report that summarizes everything, so that takes precedent. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to ask, or answer, sorry.
I'm going to ask this question, which I ask all the time, because when I was first elected, it was an issue with some other municipalities. All of the investments and things that we are invested in are low risk, and we don't have to worry about losing all of the city funds because we made bad choices.
Correct. And the very important thing to note is if you do look at the investments, it does show that we have an unrealized loss of about $250,000. Don't let that ever scare you. We hold till maturity, meaning we get all of our money back. So we're purely holding for the interest side of things, and then once it matures, we get all of our money back.
Any questions? Thank you. And with that, I think I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Bergstrom, seconded by Crakes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.